Welcome aboard. Today, we're exploring one of the most enchanting train journeys in India, the Vijayawada to Araku Valley train. This ride takes us from the bustling plains of Andhra Pradesh to the breathtaking hills of Araku Valley, a region famous for its coffee plantations and tribal heritage. But we're not just here for the scenery. We're uncovering some lesser-known, intriguing facts about this journey that will make you want to book a ticket right away. The Vijayawada to Araku Valley journey spans around 350 kilometers, taking you from the heart of Andhra Pradesh to the lush, green hills of the Eastern Ghats. It's a transition from the tropical heat of the coastal plains to the cool, misty breeze of the Araku Valley. The route is a blend of vast farmlands, dense forests, and striking mountain ranges. But beneath these picturesque views, there are stories and facts most travelers don't know. Longest tunnel in Eastern Ghats. Did you know? The Vijayawada to Araku train route passes through one of the longest railway tunnels in the Eastern Ghats. This tunnel, located between Bora Caves and Araku Valley, stretches over 4.5 kilometers. As the train plunges into the tunnel, you're enveloped in pitch darkness, offering a surreal break from the daylight scenery outside. Coffee origins and tribal heritage. Araku Valley is known for its world-class coffee, but what most people don't know is that it's also home to India's only organic, shade-grown coffee cultivated by indigenous tribes. The train journey gives you a unique glimpse into these coffee plantations. The valley's coffee is globally acclaimed and even received a gold medal at the prestigious Prix Epicures award in Paris. So, next time you sip that cup of Araku coffee, remember, it's brewed with centuries of tradition. Engineering marvels along the route. The route is also an engineering marvel. The train crosses several spectacular viaducts and bridges, some perched hundreds of feet above the valley floor. These bridges, built decades ago, are testaments to the sheer determination of the engineers who constructed them, many of whom worked under extreme conditions in the dense forests and steep terrains. Each of these bridges offers a perfect blend of human innovation and natural beauty. Bora Caves and the Limestone Wonder. One of the most popular stops on this route is the Bora Caves. These limestone caves, over 1 million years old, are famous for their stalagmites and stalactites. But here's a fascinating twist. According to local folklore, these caves were first discovered by a cowherd who stumbled upon them while searching for his lost cow. The cave's name, Bora, comes from the Telugu word for hole, as the cow was found inside a hole near the caves. Best time to travel and hidden seasons. While most people opt for the winter months to enjoy the cool breeze, the monsoon season is arguably the most magical time to take this train. The forests come alive with greenery, and waterfalls cascade down the hills. The mist that hangs over the valleys creates an ethereal atmosphere that's hard to describe. However, few travelers know that September to November is when the landscape is at its most vibrant, with the post-monsoon charm and fewer crowds. The quiet splendor of the coach experience. This train journey also offers an unexpected sense of serenity. Unlike many overcrowded Indian trains, the Vijayawada to Araku train is relatively quieter, especially if you catch it on weekdays. The coaches often have large windows that offer panoramic views of the valleys and forests, making it one of the most peaceful ways to travel through this natural paradise. Diesel locomotive power in the hills. Most of the trains running through Araku Valley are powered by diesel locomotives, a rarity in an age where most major routes in India are electrified. This is due to the challenging terrain of the Eastern Ghats, where electrification is still being developed. This diesel-powered journey is reminiscent of old-world railway charm, making it a more unique experience compared to the fully electrified routes in other parts of the country. Rare flora and fauna along the route. The train passes through dense forests that are part of the Ananthagiri and Sungkari Meta Reserve forests, home to a wide variety of flora and fauna. If you're lucky, you might catch a glimpse of wild peacocks, Indian bison, gaur, or even the elusive leopard. This train journey is like a safari through the Eastern Ghats natural wildlife habitats, though most passengers aren't even aware of the biodiversity surrounding them. Tribal markets and local cuisine. As the train nears Araku, local vendors often board the train to offer travelers a taste of the region's tribal food and delicacies. Dishes like bamboo chicken, cooked inside bamboo over an open fire, are a unique culinary experience. The bamboo imparts a distinct flavor, and this method of cooking has been passed down through generations of the local tribes. The train stops at some of India's most remote villages. Several of the smaller stations on the way to Araku serve as vital lifelines for the remote tribal villages in the Eastern Ghats. These stations might seem insignificant to most passengers, but they are crucial hubs for the local communities, providing access to markets, healthcare, and educational facilities in towns like Visakhapatnam and Vijayawada. The journey, for many locals, is more than just scenic, it's essential for their daily life. A railway track full of spirals and zigzags. One of the most exciting features of the train ride is the zigzag curves and spirals that the track follows as it climbs into the Eastern Ghats. These spirals, known as reverses, allow the train to gain altitude without needing extremely steep gradients, providing a thrilling ride for passengers. Each turn offers a new perspective on the valleys and hills, making the journey feel like a roller coaster through nature. Araku Valley, a center for tribal cultural festivals. While the train journey itself is a highlight, Araku Valley hosts several tribal festivals, with the most famous being the Aitika Pongal, or Araku Utsav. Travelers who visit during these festivals can witness traditional dance forms like dimsa, enjoy indigenous music, and participate in tribal rituals that have been practiced for centuries. Although not directly connected to the train journey, this cultural immersion makes Araku a special destination. Heritage status of Araku's railway line. The railway line from Visakhapatnam to Araku, which is part of the broader Vijayawada to Araku route, is considered a heritage route by Indian Railways due to its historical and engineering significance. Built during the British era, this line was part of a larger effort to connect the mineral-rich areas of the Eastern Ghats to the major ports. Many of the tunnels and bridges date back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries, showcasing a blend of colonial and indigenous engineering. Railway line built for mineral transport. Originally, the train route through the Eastern Ghats was not intended for passenger service but for the transportation of minerals and resources, particularly bauxite. The rich mineral deposits in the region attracted British engineers who saw the need for a railway system. Today, while the route is a scenic passenger journey, it continues to serve as a key freight corridor for minerals and agricultural products. The elusive waterfalls along the journey. There are several hidden waterfalls along the route, especially during the monsoon season. One of the most famous but lesser-known waterfalls is the Shaparai Waterfalls, located not far from the tracks as the train nears Araku. Most travelers are unaware of these falls, but they offer a stunning view when the monsoon rains fill the rivers and streams, creating cascades through the hills. A testbed for advanced technology. The Vijayawada to Araku Valley route is not just scenic but also a testbed for advanced railway technology. Indian Railways has implemented GPS-based tracking and real-time monitoring systems on this route to improve efficiency and safety, particularly in the rugged, hilly terrain. These systems help monitor the condition of the tracks, weather conditions, and even wildlife movement, making the journey not just beautiful but safer. A film location for Indian cinema, Araku Valley and the train route leading up to it have served as a backdrop for several Indian films, particularly Telugu cinema. The breathtaking views, tunnels, and bridges have made this train journey a perfect shooting location for filmmakers seeking natural beauty and cinematic landscapes. However, few travelers know that some of the scenes they admire on screen were shot on the very train they are traveling on. The train crosses multiple climate zones. This train journey offers a rare chance to experience multiple climate zones in a single trip. Starting from Vijayawada, which is typically hot and humid, the train climbs into the Eastern Ghats, where the weather becomes cooler and more temperate. As you approach Araku, the air becomes refreshingly crisp, especially during the winter months. This drastic shift in climate gives the journey a unique edge, as passengers can feel the environment changing outside the window. The unique blue pottery of Araku. Apart from its famous coffee, Araku is also home to a small but skilled community of artisans who produce blue pottery, a craft introduced to the region relatively recently. The potters use local clay, adding a tribal touch to this traditional art form. While pottery workshops can be found in the valley, few travelers know that this craft is quietly flourishing, and it is an excellent souvenir for those who wish to support local artisans. The Eastern Ghats' rare medicinal plants. The forests that the train passes through are home to several species of rare medicinal plants used by the local tribes for centuries. These plants, like Terminalia chebula, used in Ayurvedic medicine, and Sarpaganda, used for treating hypertension, grow naturally in the dense forests surrounding the railway track. Though largely unknown to outsiders, these plants are part of the traditional knowledge passed down by the indigenous communities. The spectacular sunrises and sunsets. While most passengers are focused on the landscapes, few realize that the Vijayawada to Araku Valley route offers some of the most breathtaking sunrises and sunsets. As the train travels through the plains and then climbs into the hills, the changing elevation offers stunning panoramic views of the horizon. The reflection of the rising or setting sun on the Eastern Ghats forested slopes creates a golden glow that is magical, especially during the winter months when the skies are clearer. Train versus road journey. A time-saving secret. While the train is often seen as a leisurely, scenic ride, it is also a time-saving option compared to the road journey between Vijayawada and Araku Valley. The roads through the Eastern Ghats can be winding and slow, especially during monsoon season. In contrast, the train takes a more direct and efficient route through the mountains, cutting travel time significantly while offering unparalleled scenic views. The prevalence of traditional tribal markets at certain small stations along the route. You might notice bustling local markets just outside the station premises. These tribal markets, known as shandis, are traditional weekly gatherings where indigenous people trade goods like fresh produce, hand-woven textiles, and crafts. The train route, particularly in regions like Anantagiri, is a vital link to these markets, where locals and visitors alike can find unique and authentic tribal artifacts. A haven for birdwatchers. The dense forests of the Eastern Ghats along the train route are home to an incredible diversity of bird species, making the journey an unexpected haven for birdwatchers. Species such as the Indian paradise flycatcher, the Malabar whistling thrush, and the Indian pitta can often be spotted from the train windows, especially during the early morning hours. These birds, many of which are endemic to the region, add another layer of natural beauty to the journey for those with a keen eye. The railway's role in ecotourism. The railway route between Vijayawada and Araku Valley has played a major role in boosting ecotourism in the region. While the area was once largely unknown to tourists, the train journey has opened up Araku's forests, tribal heritage, and coffee plantations to the outside world, attracting eco-tourists who are interested in sustainable travel. The presence of the railway has allowed for controlled tourism, helping preserve the region's natural beauty while promoting local culture. A journey through time. Prehistoric links. Few know that Araku Valley has a rich prehistoric heritage, with several archaeological sites discovered in the region. Some ancient cave paintings and stone tools have been found in the valley, indicating that early humans inhabited these areas. The train journey, passing through this historically significant region, is essentially a ride through ancient lands that have been home to human civilization for millennia. The curious train horn tradition. As the train passes through the quieter sections of the forested hills, the train's horn follows an age-old tradition of being blown at certain key points. In some areas, the horn is sounded as a warning to wild animals like deer, wild boars, or even elephants that sometimes cross the tracks. This practice, although largely forgotten by modern passengers, is a measure to prevent wildlife accidents along the route and stems from a deep respect for the natural world surrounding the train line. The ghost stations of the past. There are several abandoned stations along the original route of the railway, some of which were operational during the colonial era. These ghost stations are remnants of a time when the rail line was being developed for industrial purposes. Now largely forgotten and overgrown by vegetation, they offer a mysterious glimpse into the past and add an eerie touch to the otherwise lively route. A railway line that saved lives during India's independence movement, the region around Araku was known for tribal uprisings against British colonial rule. The train line, initially built for the British to transport minerals, became a lifeline for local resistance movements. The dense forests and isolated terrain offered cover and secret pathways for freedom fighters, making the train a silent witness to key moments in India's struggle for independence. The colorful tribes of Araku Valley. While Araku Valley is home to several indigenous tribes, what many travelers don't know is that these communities still practice their age-old customs, rituals, and festivals. The Gadaba, Kondadora, and other tribes of Araku wear traditional clothing adorned with vibrant colors and handmade jewelry. Many passengers on the train might catch a glimpse of these beautifully dressed tribal people as they board or disembark, but few realize how deeply rooted their cultures are in the region's history. The train's contribution to indigenous healthcare. For many indigenous people living in remote areas around the Eastern Ghats, the train is the only practical way to access healthcare facilities. Mobile medical camps often operate at small stations, providing basic medical services to the local population. This aspect of the train's role in the region is rarely highlighted, but it's a crucial lifeline for the tribal communities who live far from major towns and cities. The jungle stations. With number platforms. Some stations along the route are so small and remote that they lack proper platforms. These jungle stations serve only a few hundred people living in nearby villages, and passengers often have to hop directly onto the tracks to board or exit the train. These stations offer an intimate, rural glimpse of life in the heart of the Eastern Ghats, where modern amenities like platforms are seen as unnecessary luxuries. Natural cooling inside the tunnels. When passing through the longer tunnels, especially those carved through dense rock, passengers often experience a noticeable drop in temperature. This natural cooling effect is caused by the heat-absorbing rock, which cools the air inside the tunnels. While most people enjoy this temporary respite from the heat, few understand the geology behind the cooling sensation, which is a result of the rock formations that make up the Eastern Ghats. Araku Valley's rich biodiversity. Due to isolation, the isolation provided by the Eastern Ghats has led to the development of unique flora and fauna in Araku Valley. Many of the plants and animals found in this region are endemic, meaning they are not found anywhere else in the world. The forests that the train passes through are part of a rare ecosystem, filled with species that are still being studied by botanists and zoologists. Passengers often have no idea that the very trees they're looking at may harbor undiscovered or endangered species. A safe haven for wild elephants. The train journey from Vijayawada to Araku Valley passes through areas that are part of a larger elephant corridor in the Eastern Ghats. Wild elephants use these corridors to migrate between forests in search of food and water. While sightings are rare, the train line has specific protocols to protect these majestic creatures, including slower speeds and elephant crossing zones. Most passengers are unaware of the train's role in helping protect one of India's most endangered animals. The last steam engine to operate on the route up until the 1980s, steam engines were still used on certain parts of this route, especially for freight transport. The final steam engine to run in the region was part of a heritage effort to preserve this historic mode of transport. Now, steam engines have been replaced by diesel locomotives, but occasional heritage runs are organized by Indian Railways, offering a nostalgic trip back in time for train enthusiasts. So, there you have it. The Vijayawada to Araku Valley train journey is not just about traveling from point A to point B, it's a ride through history, culture, engineering marvels, and natural wonders. If you've ever been on this train, or if you're planning to, drop a comment below and let us know your favorite part of the journey. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more hidden gems on railway routes around the world.